the news, we come up with the latest, and of course, we get to talk about different, issues as it relates to Nigeria, relates to our families, relates to society, just all of it here. We just get to look at it from different angles, and of course, we get to hear from you too. So do well to be a part of the program by dialing 07000 or 070 317 56537. All right. So, yes, let's get to hear how the weekend was for Susan. Hi, Susan. Good morning. How's the weekend for you?
Good morning, Rose. Good morning, HerLens family. Good morning, Boki Femi Ajala. The weekend was good. I rested a bit more. You see, my face is glowing this Monday morning.
Oh, yes.
Recovery mode activated more and more. And
Mm,
then I think the highlight for me was coming across the news that those who were kidnapped on their way to the exams and all, had regained freedom. For me, I heaved a huge sigh of relief late
mm,
evening when I read about it. So I was just happy generally, relaxing and taking in, even though I had so many activities I was supposed to attend for my sister. I
mm.
calculate the whole transportation. I say, no, me
Yeah.
and my bed, marriage. Thank you.
Yeah, so because now we are in the time where you need to actually ask yourself this movement, what I want to, how important and necessary it is. Is this something I can join online? Or is it something that can get feedback so that you go know what you did do? If not, cost of transportation go just dey do you. Can't they come now? Can't they come out make us see? All right, thank you very much. Yes, we talked about that this morning, and maybe we'll just look a bit, about a that particular story this morning because we talked about it last week when the kids were kidnapped on their way to go right jam in Benue. So we'll just touch a little bit on it this morning before we head on. All right, let's get to hear from Buki. Hi, Buki. Good morning. How are you today? How's the weekend?
Yes, Bookie is doing great, and I want to thank God. It's the start of the week officially, though it started yesterday, and I rested yesterday. Honestly, I mean, when you just intentionally pack your phone,
Hmm.
because more like I literally walk on the phone. When you try to say, today or after service, no, just drop that phone there and just rest. I just rested. Of course, I I I was I slept, you know, watch movies, I didn't do any work, so to say. It was eat, sleep, rest, watch movies. And I mean, that was what I did. And I feel refreshed. This was after coming back from church, and then of course, yes, there was a time I watched spiritual Christian songs. I mean, I just had my own rest, and it was because I had really stressed this body last week. I myself know I did, and I just needed that break. So I'm refreshed, and I want to thank God for health. Yeah, I want to thank God for health. And then of course, somewhere along the line last week, yes, I um, my brother-in-law transited into glory.
Oh.
Um, yeah, so it was one of the things that we battled with, but he's in a much better place. And well, there are lessons to learn. As a farmer, he went to farm after retirement. And somewhere along the line, he decided to rest. Because his body was actually found resting beside a tree, and the family was looking for him over the night. I mean, it was like, this is strange. And of course, by the time they saw him early in the morning, the hunters and the community people, he was actually resting. He had the knapsack beside him. He removed his shoes. He held his phone, trying to call. So the phone was still with him. And it's a whole lot of lessons that what's that number to call when there is an emergency?
Hmm.
before you even call your family or whatever it is, what is that number to call? So I mean, a lot of people, family members, that are outside of the country say, in such a case, in that advanced country, 999, even before you call your mother, your husband, your wife, or that's it, even they will get there even before any other person. So, these are things that we hope to see, as we talk about nation building and development. But the beauty is that, yes, I mean, he gave his life to Christ, so we know he's in a better position. So I guess maybe all that, summed up, and then of course the work related and all that. But we want to thank God in all of this. God is faithful, and I'm happy with the people that just like Susan said, that want to celebrate them. But beyond that, beyond that, we should get to a point where we preempt things and we go ahead to
Mm.
ensure that those things do not come. You understand? Because we know that people will be moving out of their comfort zone,
Yeah.
you know, do jam and things like that, particularly in the remote areas where they have to travel long distance, and then of course this is also to I know we cannot say every community, particularly in remote, will have this infrastructure. Yes, I've rounded up. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you too, Buki, for you said your in-law, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Make
yeah.
his soul rest in peace. And we're just hoping that we get to do better as a society too. I know one person that has been talking about emergency numbers. Right from that Anthony Joshua time and so many, deaths that we had on the highways, and we are experienced too on Lagos Ibadan Expressway, numbers to call. What are the available options, and all of that. And these are things that ordinarily we should even come and be talking about safe in 2026. But hey, here we are. But then, hopefully we get to get better. All right, this is your Women Radio WFM 91.7. Ibina Boy is here with us. Good morning, Ibina Boy. How are you? And how's the weekend too for you?
Yeah, good morning, beautiful ladies, Lady Wookie FA, Lady Susan, Lady Rose. It's an excellent day, it's an excellent morning, and we are grateful to be here. And good morning to all our valued listeners. Thank you.
All right, good morning to you too. It's good to have you join us this morning on HerLens. All right, so yes, let's head on straight to talk about one of the things that Susan and Boogie has mentioned, just to touch on it. I know I didn't drop that link, but just to touch on it, because last week we actually talked about it. So when there's an update, of course, it's also good that we get to look at that. So students who were abducted, or rather, young adults who were abducted on their way to go write the JAM exam last week, who were in Benway, going forward to write the exams, have been released. The victims were abducted on Wednesday in Otupo, local government area of Benue State. And, while, the bus was conveying them to where they were going to write their exams. So they were eventually rescued Sunday morning by security operatives following sustained pressure mounted on the kidnappers. Now, the governor, Governor Hyacinth Elia, received the victims at the government house in Makodi. Now, they also confirmed that 8 of them were UTME candidates, while others were regular commuters caught, in the attacks. So when they had to, mention their names, and and so on and so forth. One of them even gave, they told us what they went through. For some of them, they emptied their accounts, kept them without food, made them to drink bad water, gave them gari, salt, and all of that. And they were just telling us, just giving a report on the horrific, experience they had while in custody of the kidnappers, being flogged, daily with machetes, with sticks and all of that. And let's not forget that there are women amongst them. So for some of them, according to the report I read this morning, there were some that had to pay, ransom. And part of the ransom There was somebody among them who had his cousin, I think two of his cousins or so, amongst them, and they had to personally, he himself had to deliver a ransom of 3.4 million naira, to these kidnappers, and then supplies worth 33,000 naira, which he mentioned some, malt drinks and some yogurts, in between to go deliver to the kidnappers. So, I mean, it was just a lot, although the governor has said that, oh, that JAM should give them, make, or rather, JAM should, um, make them resist the exams, give them their own exams to write and all of that. So, I just want us to speak on this and how we've come down to all of these kinds of issues. I know last week we talked about it extensively, but this is an update. They have been released, so let's get to hear what you think about this particular one. I know Susan has mentioned, but Susan, let's just quickly start with you, and then we head to Buki and get to finish it up with Ibina about this morning. Go ahead, Susan, please.
Okay, like I said earlier, first I want to rest his soul. And I want to quickly say that first, I'm happy they have been released. And I want to agree with the governor to some extent. What are they going to do to those jambites? Because if the registrar could show up because of an hijab issue, putting of hijab at a jam center, because there was that issue again. And if he could show up for that, I think this is a more cogent reason. Whether it's a waiver, whatever it is, these people have been traumatized, money has been lost. Please, if you out of the millions, if you wait for this aid, as long as you confirm they actually applied, I don't
Mm,
think it is too much. Just being human, not even taking them through the trauma of reading and writing exams again. And then it also brings me to when people are kidnapped and released, it's not enough to show up at the government house or whichever house. How are they ensuring that these people get psychosocial support? The trauma
mm,
lives with them for the rest of their lives. And whenever they have these flashbacks, I'm saying this from the aspect of GBV because I know how traumatized GBV survivors are. So imagine people over some days being in a place where they are hit anyhow. Some of the videos that we watch are traumatizing, even for some of us who are not even survivors of this kind of thing. So, what is the government doing besides having them in the government house and speaking grammar, sharing pictures? What is the government doing to support these people? And what is the sustainable plan to ensure that kidnapping and what have you does not continue? Why is it the order of the day, for crying out loud? We keep
yeah.
hearing give them supplies, they give them money, just like, so many that we have heard, like the ex-con member, so many things they kept asking. They even asked for an Okada. Come on. Are you saying that we do not have how we can trace these people? No. I think the government has a lot in their hands. One of the
Mm,
things government does is to protect the lives of their citizens. If every Nigerian has to go out with their hands, I mean, JAMB is government that said they need to write JAMB for them to go into the university. If they have to do that, why do they have to go through all of this? I think it's high time government looks into our insecurity because it's going into it's escalating by the day. Nobody is safe. No single person is safe. Every day you go out and come in Nigeria, you are just looking up to God. So I think we need to declare a state of emergency. How does government rehabilitate these people who have been kidnapped? And for JAM students, please, if it can be waived, do well to waive it for them. Thank you.
thank you, Susan, because I was also telling Fumi this morning that if it can be waived, waive it for them. If possible, say if you want to say, okay, go to the state university under full scholarship. For me, I don't think that's too much, honestly, because of what these children have gone through, or what this, candidates, UTME candidates have gone through in the hands of the kidnappers. All right, Buki, let's get to hear from you.
All right. So, yeah, in addition to what Susan has said, I want to come from the angle of aside from the therapy, which is highly, highly, highly necessary now, they need to give them, which is to support Susan, a soft landing. They can still do the exam. They can still do the exam. Um, but a soft landing, what do I mean by that? To ensure that they are healed. Because we don't know what they went through. Yes, we saw
Mm-hmm.
clips and things like that. And to be honest, the way people respond to trauma is different. If we're not even careful, some will even get scared of exams.
Yeah.
Once they see exam, they get scared of it. So they need to do one-on-one consultation and check everything about them. And then when they are ready, I mean their therapy, when they are ready, they subject them to the test. But like I said, it's a soft landing. And yeah, like you mentioned, Rose, I mean, if they have to give them full scholarship, why not? Why not? Because the government failed them. That's the truth.
That's the
The
truth.
government failed them. They were going for an exam and they were kidnapped. You understand?
Hmm.
Why the government knows that these children are going.
Mm-hmm.
So why do they do the needful to ensure that they are secured? So it's from that angle that I am talking today, that they need to give them soft landing and see how we can, compensate. But beyond that, ensure that they are healed. You understand? Because we're interested in that, right? And also, what is the system they will now put in place that this does not happen? I'd mentioned it earlier, right? That if it's in the rural areas, you understand,
Hmm.
what is the long term that every school is set up with the proper infrastructure? Because that is what we're supposed to look at. So that our students will not have to go from one community to another community. The rate of we as embracing technology is low. So what can we begin to do? This is one of the areas where we can put in a whole lot of infrastructure and set up labs. Set up labs. I mean, Rwanda did it. We always talk about Rwanda. It's an African
Mhm.
country.
Yeah.
you know it talks about leadership. What is the priority of our leaders? That's just it. What is the priority of our leaders? Now you can't even get any of them to do any good governance. All of them is about politics now. So
Sure.
what are we going to do? And this is it. And I will land on that. 2027 is coming. As they are preparing, let us also prepare. We, the voters, let us also prepare. Let us begin to become, what they call the ideal voter, an informed voter. Let's go
Hmm.
through, particularly, I particularly those who go into the House of Assembly, the rep, and the senators, because they are the ones that legislate the laws. I know, yes, the governor, whatever it is, but can we even start with this? When we have more of them, more of bright, positive thinking people, those who are proactive, those who want transformation, you understand?
Hmm. Hi, Buki. Can you hear me? All right. So that was Buki giving us her thoughts right there. Let's quickly pick the score. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, ma.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name? Where
Albert
you
is my
calling
name,
from?
calling from Ikorodu.
All right, Albert. Thank you
Albert is
very.
my name, calling from Ikorodu.
Go ahead,
Well
Albert.
done,
Let's
ma.
hear you.
If you start to overlook many things in this country now, no, they will go into the paper, newspaper review, and not do the internet to not see what's happening in this country. And people easily go inside that group to give those kidnappers money and come back home. And you see, it's not like the security person not even in the country any longer. I thought we had a Tucano aircraft that Buhari bought when he was in the sea. We see this life is what you eat, is what you sow, that what you reap. There's no way you do it, you will repeat. Now, Buhari is no more now. And the Tucano aircraft is there. Why not use this Tucano aircraft and go inside that bush and estimate what's happening inside that bush? What is going on in this country? I'm not afraid of this country any longer. Children are not going to write exam now, and they kidnap them on the way. You think it? Look at it now, and we're here now. We're not even arguing if they should go for a receipt of the exam or giving them scholarship or any other thing. And government even take them to government house. I don't know if you to go and watch the government house or not. That maybe, or maybe to get some information from them. It's going to be discussed now, or how to stop this insecurity, this kidnapping, because these kidnappers are so wise enough knowing that if that next exam is coming and they will still wait for them again, what is happening in this country? Insecurity for one is insecurity for all. If we are all secure in this country, everyone will be fine. If I'm doing start going to school, yes, nah, and if I won't go write the exam, they kidnap me for I won't come back, or I don't go again. I'll go learn carpenter or any other thing I can learn. It's quite preferable for me than risking my life to go and study. Yes, nah, because they make education for not like school bus again. In the old thing, they used to see school bus passing. We do it, but now where is it? With security inside it, where is it now? So let us call it expedition and hold our leaders accountable. Let them stop this insecurity of it, and this country will be fit for us to have a nice day.
All right. Thank you very much, Albert, for calling. And, you're just calling on the government to do what they're supposed to do. If not, every day, education seems, far-fetched for Nigerians because of the insecurity. Ibinabo, can you hear me? If you can, please go ahead. Let's hear your thoughts on this. Hi, Ibinabo, are you with me? Okay, I don't think so. Susan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Okay, Ibinabo, are you there? You're muted, just in case you're speaking. All right, I guess not. Let's get to hear from this next call. Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Mrs. Oboli. How's your weekend?
Madam Susan, I hello. The network is doing them shaky and Wiki as well.
And Wiki, yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Every time there's WIC, there's jam, we're always bedeviled by negativity or the other. I don't want to start on a very harsh tone this morning. But Rose, if you cast your mind back, this jam, remember a lot of anomalies went down, from accidents that the children had to centers that were very far to different kinds of things. And we are here again. Is there any time in this country we can have a hitch-free jam or any exam at all? If you remember last time, WAEC goofed, jam goofed, and then Professor Fetch came on social media to apologize and everything, where people died. Now, this trauma that these children have faced, you go after you don't prep up, you don't read anything. You go examination center only for you to be kidnapped along the way. Which state of mind do you think these children were till they were released? Are we supposed to be begging? By now, you're supposed to check for newspapers, say they've compensated them by saying, by doing something. I don't want to say in a sinner climb. This should be a sinner climb. Well, what obtains beautifully, effortlessly in other climes? Can't it obtain here? What you and I talk that these children should be compensated, this job, like something should be done for them. You can't come and say, like, if you can come out for a job issue, why can't you also rise to the occasion on this one? Simply, without anybody pushing, shoving, cajoling, or through. How can you call this children come and sit for an exam now? Because their minds only God knows it's true. You need to collect person freedom in 4 hours, not more than that period of time. Everything system, because no be house. East or west, home is always the best. This period of time, their heart they palpitate, their everything. So we are here now saying they should be compensated. I was thinking I'll wake up this morning to hear that something has been done regarding their case. Please, look into a time because I know when my daughter did jam last year, I know what she passed through. Other people in that place, from CBT centers not working well, to people that were supposed to be jumping Lagos, traveling to somewhere as far as your state. Yes, how? How now? Which day is just exact? Then you pop up for an exam or to kidnap that to happen to you, and you're asking yourself, when exactly will this country, if we don't get it right in insecurity sector, if we don't get it right in medical sector, if we don't get it right in educational sector, we don't get it right for power sector, life, please, Rose, mark one thing where we don't get right. Must we score F9 everything we need to be in Nigeria? Must we be set left and right, be devil left and right, with one anomaly or the other, with one go in ineptitude or the other? And Monday morning, ladies. Good morning, ladies, and have a big to bless you.
Amen. Thank you very much, Mrs. Oboli, for calling. And just saying it as it is, because it could just be quite a lot, on Nigerians as a whole. All right, let's get to hear from you, Ibinabo. If you can hear me, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Rose. The question I'm asking myself is this: can we, or let me say, can I, or should I say, is there any concrete certainty that JAMB leadership fully understands what trauma is? Do they even feel bad for the fact that some students were going to sit for JAMB or UTME, whatever they call it, and were kidnapped? And they didn't gain their freedom because the state government did one or two things. You just read out, and we read in different places, how some family members paid ransom. So the question now is, do we always need to tell people who are supposed to be leaders in various agencies and parastatals what to do, how to go about it, especially in a country where insecurity is hitting the roof? The level of insecurity is unprecedented.
All right, Ibinabo, if you can hear me, maybe put
Shouldn't
up
they begin to look at how
Ibinabo.
to secure these children by posting them? Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I wanted to say maybe put up your camera so that we can maybe hear you better because of the network. Maybe just put off your camera.
That I'm audible now. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, please go ahead.
My camera is off. Am I audible?
Yes,
Okay,
please go
so
ahead.
I was trying to even the JAMB management, the leadership of JAMB or UTME and all those people involved with their leader, Professor Lede, they need to go and learn, or they need to have better understanding of what trauma is about. Because by now, it shouldn't be people that will be suggesting to them how to handle these children. They are the ones to come out and make statements that we are suggesting to them. Is it because they don't have understanding of what it means to be kidnapped and now you are being released? What it means to be in captivity in the kind of places that you are not sure you're coming out alive? Putting children, school children, through that trauma. I'm not discountenancing the adults who are kidnapped, but we're talking about the children right now. Because you see, when you go through
Binabo,
such
please, just a
trauma,
minute. Let me just pause you for a minute and pick this call. Hello, good morning. Hi, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Your name is Peter? Uh, all right, Peter, please go ahead. Let's hear you. Hmm. All right, the call has gone off. But please do want to call us back. Peter, please do want to call us back. Let's get to hear from you. All right, go ahead, Binabo, please.
okay, okay, it was repeatedly. I'm talking about the leadership of JAMB now, Professor Loyede. He was reputedly incorruptible, intelligent, and all of that. And I feel that part of what he should have displayed should have been coming out to address this issue of kidnap and how and what the board has put in place for these children. Because if you understand what trauma is, you should know that having been released, these children will have post-traumatic stress disorder. Nobody has to tell you that. I had a nasty experience. Okada, two men on Okada were about to attack me and they couldn't because some people were around and they drove away. They rode away in a very fast whatever, on top speed. And that I was going my own jeje. It was within my community. As of that time, it wasn't like I was on any particular highway or away from a residential area. It was within the residential area. And do you know that these people were actually monitoring me? I got to a place, I was walking from somewhere to my house. I didn't drive. And it was a trackable distance. And it was in the morning, it wasn't in the dark morning, it was in the broad daylight where everybody will see everybody. These people came back to me and robbed me
Mm-mm.
on Okada. But fortunately, the money I had on me was kept somewhere else. I had mentioned it before. I don't want to mention it. It was in a very funny place. The Spirit of God just led me to put the money there. So they couldn't access that. But they took my bag and everything I had in the bag. Now, what am I saying? As an adult, or not as even as a teenager, as an adult, then each time an Okada rode past me, I'll be agitated. It's like I shouldn't go out again. It's like I should always be driving. Even if I want to go to the next building, I should drive. I became so scared. Each time, even when a vehicle slowed down beside me, it's like, ha, they want to kidnap me. And it went on for so long, I had to fight it. So now imagine children. They have gone through such trauma. And they will begin to have nightmares and
Mm-hmm.
flashbacks, fear, they will have anxiety. They will even have difficulty concentrating in school. And it might even make them to begin to withdraw from their friends. You don't know how it's going to, how each person would, because we are different. So the trauma each person will experience will be different, but there will be a common ground. They will be afraid of examination. They'll be afraid of traveling in public transport. They'll be afraid of doing a lot of things in the public. And the least JAM could do was what the ladies have suggested.
Mm.
Sent them from sitting for even to reset JAM for them is even unnecessary because they are still traumatized.
Yeah.
They cannot that exam. I know what it means when you are traumatized, even in a very little way, and you want to sit for examination. You go be as you never read before, self.
That's all.
So we need to address issues properly and not just politicize everything. The governor taking pictures and all of that, they are all politics. We don't need any of these people to play politics with the future of our children. We are sick and tired of that. Nobody's talking about like Susan mentioned, psychosocial therapy. They're just busy wanting to take pictures and take, all the accolades as if they were the ones. Why should they be kidnapped in the first place? Because it's beginning to look like we're not doing much in terms of insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
And as we know that all the power to secure Nigeria as a whole is in Abuja, the governors have a lot of responsibilities too. Because you cannot be a governor and be a baby and always looking up to your president to come and secure your state. When you were going about campaigning for election to be elected into that office, you did not go and call the then president to come and give you security to be going up and down. So you should know in your own level as a governor, you should know how to secure your state and leave other aspects to the federal government. Because what some of these governors are doing is because I'm not they're not the commander-in-chief of Kiniko, they giving excuses. We are sick and tired of it. Stop traumatizing our children. Stop making life look so unbearable to these children. Because when a child goes through a hard knock life, it will harden the hearts of these children. It will change their natural nature to something else. And we don't want that. We don't want any child like these children, and they are going to forcefully overcome this trauma, which is not very good because it will be lying somewhere in them until something will provoke it again and it will come to the fore. So in this country, we as much as we know, all our leaders they are aware that Nigeria is at the top of insecurity in all the years that we have been in existence. So what should they do with children, especially? This playing around and playing politics is sickening. It is sickening. And like Buki mentioned, 2027 is around the corner. Are we still going to be those people that they will come and give one derica of rice that we eat for 1 day or 2 days, and then you sell your votes? Because we have to face our reality and not the needful. We cannot continue to allow anybody to guilt trip or gaslight us emotionally. Nobody should be allowed to be bamboozled into voting for incompetence. Please, this is frustrating. This is frustrating. People are parting with their hard-earned money to criminals. Criminals are becoming like the people who have the final say. People will be kidnapped. They will be paid ransom. Nobody will trace them and arrest these people. They will come on air. They will post videos. They will do all kinds of things. The other time, a student from a university in Jos was abducted or kidnapped, and it was so badly handled. They were beating him and they were pointing a gun at him. We don't even know the fate of that young man today. This is what is facing the Nigerian child. Is it not enough that you are traumatizing with the parents? Are you not taking it to the children? Parents should come together and stand against this. JAM should stop posting children to even the next local government in their state. Keep them within their local government. Keep them within their local government. Life is not all about making so much money for the government, because that was the first thing that was mentioned some years ago when Professor Loyede came on board. That the past leadership of JAM were giving, yes, we read it, we heard about it. At some point, they even said that snake swallowed bags of money and all of that. Yes, above and beyond being incorruptible, you have to make sure that the lives of the students sitting for this examination, their lives are secured. You cannot keep exposing them to danger and making parents spend more. Some children, Now, person help their parents buy the jam for these children. And then you will still make these children's parents to go and look for money, borrow money, take travel to another state, and yet being kidnapped. We can't go on like this. Where exactly have we succeeded in any of the sectors? It is unfortunate. And people should not sit in the comfort of their homes and begin to say what is not, because it does not happen to you. Because if it happens to you, you'll be singing a different song. We can't live like this. Don't wait till something is brought to your doorstep before you see the bad in it. Jam should change this their style. Oh. If you can see, if CBT is becoming a problem, please, let's in the interim go back to our old ways of paper and biro and pencil while they put the right structures in place. When you make so much money from JAMB, then set up CBT centers that is owned by JAMB, so that you know that, okay, if in this particular local government you don't have enough, then you set up your own. You are making money. This is investment. Put up structures in various local governments so that you don't need to send a child to another state to sit for JAMB. Yesterday, or day before yesterday, a friend of mine had her daughter as at 6 p.m. was sitting for JAMB. I never heard the story before.
Oh, wow.
This child was, and the parents left the house early in the morning. But she didn't get to be at home until in the afternoon, sometime the other, around that hour. How long are we going to be like this? How long are we going to go on like this? Oh, God.
Thank you very much, Binabo. It's just a lot. And then when you think of what is going on as regards to JAM itself, it's like year in, year out, there's always an issue. Let's pick this call before we call it a day. Hello, good morning.
Yeah.
Can you bring down the volume of your radio, please, so we can hear you?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Kingsley.
All right, Kingsley, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Lagos.
All right, Kingsley, thank you very much for calling. Go ahead, let's hear you, please.
Ma, you know, I'm a Christian. The Bible said, we shall know the truth, and the truth has set us free. Nigerian government has failed totally. You know, people saying people will be the ones who read. No, it's the government. Because one, when the road buying started, like play, it has come to stay. And there is no law. I was telling my friend the other day, our problem in Nigeria is our judiciary, madam. If our judiciary can be on their own and stand, I'm telling you that a lot of all these miscreants will go to jail. Like the other lady that spoke last night before I called, she spoke extensively well. She's a mother. I'm telling you, I feel pained. Look at our children experiencing this type of rubbish, going to write an exam. They were kidnapped. Immediately, the next day, they were rescued. So which means all these our security agents know these people. Why can't we do something and throw these idiots, throw these miscreants out? How can you grant pardon, say repented Boko Haram? You grant them pardon. You reintegrate them back to the society. Look at our military dying every now and then. No arms, ammunition, no strong ones, and you are telling me that is government. We must be honest here. The judiciary should stand on their own and sanitize this country. I'm telling you the gospel truth. If the judiciary can be bought with money, what is the hope of a common man? What is the hope of the common man? So we must get it right. We must get it right. Look at many people, all of them defecting to APC, because the Bible said, when the righteous are the home of our people rejoice, but when the miscreant is there, people suffer. People just grab that power by force just to make them. And he will do what he did in Lagos, in Abuja, write it down. So, my dear sister, we must get things right in this country. And again, I remember last election, some people were saying, if you're not going here to vote for a particular party, don't. And nothing was done. They were not indicted. They were not even in prison or even trial. Nothing. How do we move forward? You have your voter's card and you are scared of voting in a particular polling unit or polling booth. Who does that in a democratic era? My dear, we must get things right. We must get these things right. Judiciary is the problem we are having in this country is the judiciary. I keep saying it. By the time the judiciary increasing most of all these idiots, say not to
Okay.
vote by anybody that is not involved, but it should be tried and jailed. My
All
sister,
right.
we must monetize all this entity. We must.
Hmm.
I said, honestly speaking, I don't know if I can say I regret being a Nigerian.
Okay.
Traveling after that, to happen in other countries. You come in your own country, rubbish.
All right. Thank you
You
very
swell.
much. Yeah. Thank you very much for calling. I know how painful it can be, but please let's watch the words we use on radio. All right. Thank you very much for sharing your opinion and for calling in this morning. Our time is fast spent. Ibinabo, I can see your hands up. 30 seconds, Ibinabo. Quickly, please.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I just want to add that parents should stand up and tell Professor Loyede that if they are to send any of these children, it is totally a no-no for me. But in case they are still trying to put structures in place while they do whatever they are doing, you must make provision for accommodation for these children. It is an act of being irresponsible when you just post a child for an examination that he will sit for in just one day. You post him to Sokoto. A friend of mine, a daughter was posted to Sokoto State from Lagos State.
Sokoto, thank God.
In that late jam form.
Hmm.
So what are we talking about? You must make provision for their accommodation and show that you are responsible to every child. We cannot be checking our responsibilities and yet coming out to prove that we are doing the right thing in our offices. Let's do right by all the everybody. I'm sick and tired of this. It is so disturbing that you don't know what is the fate of your child when the child is traveling. Even maybe in that bus, maybe a parent was there with the child.
All right. Thank you very much, Ibinabo. Thank you, Susan, and thank you, Buki, for all of your thought this morning. We just pray that Nigeria gets better, and we hope that our country becomes better. All right, this is your Women Radio WFM 91.7. Thank you to each and every one of you who tuned in and called in this morning. Let's do this again tomorrow.